It starts weeks and months before we actually get to this moment. The other group that I want to sort of acknowledge is a lot of you participated on in the Culinary Olympics recently. And again, the team that puts that together, if you were there, you got an opportunity to see that, you got an opportunity to watch your colleagues competing, but the work that goes in behind the scenes on that event is tremendous. And thank you for Putnam for hosting that, and the team that went in the week before and set those things up. There's just so much that goes into some of these things, so just want to acknowledge all of those groups. If this is your first workshop, you just put your hand up. I just want to see where we're at here. First time ever.
It's just a camera mic, okay? It's more about.
That's the amount of people that have been hired just since we did this a few years ago. One thing I'd like to do, I've never really done this before with this group, but I want you to be able to acknowledge one another for a second. So I'm going to ask that when I call out the location, I want that group's here. Bring that one. Always Rob with the terrible photos. When I call out your area, I want you to stand up for just a second and get a recognition and applause from everybody that's here. So let's start with our catering folks. If there's anybody from catering. Let's do Buckley Dining Hall. South Campus. Let's do Putnam Dining Hall. Northwest. That's good. North Campus.
There you go.
Gelfenbein.
Yep,
So I'm going to do this as a large group. Anything related to USM retail, cafes, walking fire, retail. Whitney? If I did this right, we should be left with our commissary bakery team that supports the entire campus, so please give it up for that team. And I missed any location. Oh, I did. I missed our new athletic team between Burton and Worth. McMahon, are they here? Is McMahon here? Just you? 2 of you? 3 of you? All right, let's give it up for McMahon. Who's open tonight? So good for student groups and last year. So I didn't see, I figured you'd all be working, so Gary, I don't know how you sneak out of these things all the time.
Don't worry about it.
So one of the things I want to explain to some of you is sort of our relationship and how we fit into the university. So dining services is a part of the Division of Student Affairs. So what that means is that we are a part of a team that provides a service to students on a daily basis. And you all understand that we provide a service to these students. In catering, we provide a service to not only student groups, but also external customers. We are providing a service at the law school and at Avery Point. It's not just about stores. And one of the things that you all have is you have an impact on a customer. And you may not realize it, right? To some of you, I'm just here to do a job. Leave me in the back of the house, leave me in the production space, and I don't really need that interaction with the customer. But you all have this incredible impact on student lives and customer lives. If you think about a wedding, if you had a bad experience with the food, you're going to remember that forever. If you have a good experience, you're going to remember that forever. And that's what we strive for. We strive for those memories. One of the important things that you all need to grasp is how you treat each other, but also how we treat that customer. And what I want to give you an example of is where you think about Faculty is always going to care about how the student performs in the classroom, but there can be one moment in a student's life that's transformed by our department. And we are a part of that educational process. We're a part of that 4-year growth for a student. Most of you have all dealt with students who have had an allergy. Let's talk about that student for a minute. Think about a student 3 or 4 years ago that you had an opportunity to work with, or that one of our team members had an opportunity to work with. They're on the fence about whether they can stay here. They don't know that our department can meet their needs. And they're contemplating going home, and it's just not going to be a place for them. And they get a chance to sit with somebody. Maybe it's a production chef, maybe it's a manager, maybe it's a CA, maybe it's an interaction with a KA, helping them get their food ready for that day. And that one meeting, that one moment, is what allowed them to stay here. What actually made them successful that freshman year, that first 2 weeks of the semester. It changed their mindset about how their career here at UConn would go. Faculty has nothing to do with that. Academics have nothing to do with that. In some situations, our department plays a key role in whether a student stays here and succeeds. And for that, you all need to be recognized. We all play a huge role in that student's success. That's what we're about. We're about interactions with customers, and whether that is a cash-paying customer from the outside, whether it's a faculty member that's coming in for a cup of coffee, or whether it's a student that actually needs some assistance on a daily basis. Just remember, every interaction you've had at a restaurant, every interaction you've had at Walmart, you know when you have a good interaction. You know when you leave a store or a place and you feel frustrated. Remember, that's how people feel when they come to us. They're going to remember things. They're going to remember how you treat them. Did you have a good experience with that student? Did you have a good experience at the cash register with that customer just coming through? Did you serve them from the right or from the left, or which way you're supposed to do it in a catering event? All those things are impactful, and you all have a tremendous impact on student satisfaction, customer satisfaction. And then the last piece of that is how you all interact with each other. I was in units for a long time before I've had these opportunities. And whether it was first shift, having a hard time with second shift, coming in the morning, complaining about how the dining room was left from the night before. Many of you that are on first shift at some point in your career were on second shift. And I just ask that the next time you're frustrated with how things look, remember what it was like to be on another shift. Remember what it's like to try to get out at 8 o'clock at night, to scramble, try to get students out of the dining room, the place clean. You're all dealing with absences. We're still dealing with vacancies. How you all treat each other goes a long way with how that environment goes. The pride that you all took the other day, watching those teams compete, watching one another cheer each other on, watching people root for their friends of I worked with you before in an old unit. There was no conflict the other day. You all were just rooting each other on. And that's a tremendous thing for all of you. Take personal pride in your job. Continue to take personal pride in your locations. And remember, at the end of the day, it's still, we just did this thing where we were building by building. We are one massive Department of Dining Services. So for that, I want to thank you all. I want to welcome you to the 2023 workshop. And now we're going to do some longevity awards. So, thank you.